absolutely fits the topic. Thank you, Celebration Choir. Let's give them more love. My heart is so joyful to introduce you the speaker that we have today. Dianne Stewart Hamlin. She's a motivational speaker, author, transformational life coach, teacher, and licensed spiritual counselor. Dianne has dedicated her life to serving others through speaking, counseling, and advocacy. Dianne has a diverse background and a breadth of experience as a speaker and teacher. Dianne holds several degrees, including a Juris Doctor and Master of Business Administration. She is also a licensed religious science practitioner and is a member of Agape International Spiritual Center Sacred Order of Practitioners. She has a thriving law practice where she supports individuals and organizations through challenging shifts, and a prospering counseling practice where she works with individuals as they create their own breakthroughs and paradigm shifts to become grounded in principles that afford them the ability to accomplish their greater yet to be. I'm so happy that Dianne and I went through practice training together. When I'm reading this, I know how much is under those words, what she's doing, how powerful is her prayers, how fabulous mother she is, how beautiful woman she is. And I'm absolutely amazed that she's here to share her spiritual journey with us, because Dianne is amazing. Please welcome my beloved friend and classmate, Dianne Hamlin Stewart.
Good morning.
And what happens when Jamaica and Russia come together?
Yes, Jamaica and Russia. Good morning. I love you. I'm so happy to be here. And I love you, wonderful, amazing, beautiful woman. Everything you were saying about me was like you were saying it about you, because that's who you are. I am grateful to be here. I want to thank all of what came together to ask me to come down to Falls Church and share. I want to say yes, that it is, as Irina said, it's like me coming home. I just did the math because I couldn't, my mind was kind of all over the place a little bit, and I wanted to make sure that the first time I walked through these doors was 17 years ago in this community, and I believe Miss Telma was sitting back there in the back, and Duke was sitting back there, and we were in between ministers, or we had a minister that was just on her way out, I believe. And it was just such an interesting time because I had just moved to Washington. And my spiritual teacher, Michael Beckwith, suggested that I come here. And when I first moved to Washington, the only way I knew to get around town was to take the Beltway. So I lived in pretty much Georgetown. And I drove all the way up Wisconsin Boulevard to the Beltway to drive all the way around to get here. And it was like this hour-long trek, you know? And then I found all the shortcuts and I could get here in 20 minutes, so. But I've been coming here for a long time, and this is my beloved community, and it is definitely one of my homes. And I so appreciate the time to come here. I was sitting there thinking and feeling in gratitude, and just allowing myself to feel the energy of being in a place that I can call home, and being with people that I can call family, and what that feels like for me. And just the journey, you know, and all the people that have walked with me to get me to this place, and to be in this place in life. And, you know, with the month of November being the month of gratitude, right? It's not just our month of gratitude. It's not just Celebration Center's month of gratitude, but people all over the world are actually celebrating gratitude and acknowledging it. I have a lot of Christian friends and non-Christian friends that are calling November the month of gratitude, and some of them are doing 30 days of gratitude, and they're posting. My cousin is in Jamaica, and she's posting every day something that she's grateful for in November. So every morning I wake up and I get to go on Facebook and be in gratitude with her for something awesome in her life, her marriage, her friends, her faith, good food, you know, things of that sort. And it's so great that we have picked a month as a people, right, that we're going to focus on to say this is gratitude. We're going to be thankful for this. And so I was sitting at home with my email from Irina that said, we need your topic. And I was thinking, okay, gratitude, but that's the theme of the month. So then I had this blank. There was nothing. I was just sitting there with, periodically going to, I wonder what my topic is going to be. And nothing. And then I got an email from Maxine. This was like the prod email that says, we need a topic for the website now, right? And I sat in stillness and I thought, okay, I need to just be still and allow whatever it is that is to rise up through me, and not to be in this mind space of what is it going to be? It needs to be good. I had to get to that place. So I sat in the stillness in my meditation chair and allowed myself just to be, and then the topic just rose up, and it's like appreciation, not depreciation. I thought, oh, okay, because intellectually that all makes sense. And then it went blank again. I was like, okay, I'm going to Falls Church in a few days. I need have something come through. And yesterday, when I went to run, I got up and I thought, okay, I'm going to go do 3 miles. And I went out and I parked by my space in the woods. And I love it there because there are lots of us that run together and we get to say, we don't know each other, but we see each other every day. And so we say hi, and we get to have a little bit of camaraderie, and there are people with their dogs. And I was running, and first I looked up and I saw the most beautiful sky. Like it was just pristinely blue, and there were no clouds yet, and it was just amazing. And then on the backdrop, it was the backdrop actually for the trees. And so I noticed that like the woods are more than half naked now, right? Because they're like shedding all that no longer serves and all that they don't need, so they can go into their slumber and their season of release. And then the evergreens are like standing up tall because it's their turn to take over and make sure that the air is circulated. And you could see the difference in the vibrancy. And there's still some colors because some trees haven't shed their leaves. And I thought, wow, that is so magnificent, and that is so much of what we are. And I sort of took a breath, and I looked up, and there's a red-tailed hawk that lives in my neighborhood, and he sits up on his perch, or she sits up on her perch, watching, all the other birds kind of flourish, and there was this flittering thing going on, and they were singing, and in my mind, I could hear one of my childhood prayers, I'm thankful for the birds that sing. I'm thankful, God, for everything. And in that moment, I surrendered, and everything that apparently was going to come through my mouth for the talk just like downloaded, and it was like, okay. And I sort of like allowed myself to receive that about what does it really mean to be in appreciation. And the word appreciation means gratitude, right? It means to be in gratitude. It means to be in thankfulness for. So when I appreciate something, I am thankful for it. I give and I show my thankfulness. Appreciation is like an action. You show your thankfulness. You show your gratitude. You focus on the thing that you are grateful for, and you say, I love this. I love this. Thank you. Someone does something nice for you. You say, thank you. That was so thoughtful. I really appreciate you showing up for me and doing these things for me. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your phone call. I appreciate that you sent me a message on Facebook. Thank you. And so you show your gratitude and thankfulness in appreciation. Now there's another definition for appreciation, right? It's the business definition that we use when we want to have our assets appreciate and increase in value. We pay attention to it. We make sure that we are tending to our financial assets. We're tending to our stock portfolio so that it can appreciate in value. Because we know if we sell some of this and buy some of that and have some of the stocks that are like, the steady, strong stock that sits there, and then we take some risks and we go on out and we buy some of those high-risk stocks, that if we do the right, show our assets the right amount of attention, they appreciate, right? We know that this is true when we are raising plants. Like if we go in and we spend time with our plants or with our animals, right? We take time and we make sure they eat, we make sure the animals are fed, we make sure they are walked, they get all that they want, and their joy and happiness simply increases. The plants, we nurture them, we water them in a timely manner. We make sure they sit by the light, they get the right amount of light. Is it filtered light? Is it direct sunlight? We are putting our attention on the plant, and we're allowing it to grow and to prosper. If we do the opposite, then it's the same thing that happens, right? We get the opposite. So we get a decrease, and that's the depreciation. For example, you just put some money in the stock market, and you don't pay attention to what's going on in the stock market, and something is getting ready to tank, but you're not paying attention and you're not watching the writing on the wall, your assets start to depreciate. You own a home. If you don't pay attention to your home, take care of your home, love it, clean it, make sure that everything is in good repair, over time it depreciates. Things start to crumble, the paint starts to peel, things start to fall off. It's the same thing. It starts to depreciate. If I don't take care of my plants, I don't water them, I don't nurture them, I don't say good morning, how are you? I don't open the blinds so they get the right amount of light, they start to wither and die. Now this is true in everything in your life. And I want to tell you, it's great for me to stand here and give you like this great foundational talk about, how appreciation works and how depreciation works. But how does it work in my real life? How does it work in your real life? And why is this even applicable or important to how we live? Is the real reason, right, why we come to a community and a spiritual center and sit down and listen to a talk. It's like, I need application. How do I apply this? So it works for me. I use my daughter, for example. I always use my daughter. But I'm going to use the older one. So she's been moved ahead in school because of her abilities and her skills. So she goes into her new school environment, and she's a little shell-shocked and overwhelmed, and it's a lot more structured than she's accustomed to, and there's a lot more requirements and more work and all of these things. And they start to think, the administration, oh, maybe she needs to go back and redo the grade before. Maybe we should send her back so she can get the skills that we think are appropriate for her being here. And I thought about it. I said, well, no, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. She's already completed that level in her life. She's already had her rite of passage. Why would we do that? Okay, so of course now the people sitting around the table with me are in the posture of what is not possible. Their focus, their attention is on what is not possible. My attention is on, I know what's possible. I know it's possible that if I tell this child, here is the deal, here's what we're looking at, here's what they're putting on the table, what do you want to do? Let's focus on your possibilities. And I know that if I tell that child absolutely that she can, and I focus my attention on what she can, that she will also know that she can, and she'll start to focus her attention on what she can. So we go into this process where we start to talk about what she can do well, how she can do her schoolwork well, how she can understand this, and she's feeling overwhelmed, and Mommy, no, maybe they're right, maybe I can't, because I don't know how to do these things. I said, well, they're supposed to teach you how to do these things, so if you pay attention to what they're teaching you, I bet you can do these things. And we start going back and forth until we become aligned in what we're paying attention to. So now she and I are paying attention to what she can do, her possibilities, her greater yet to be. Now, term 2, she's rocking it. Her teachers are like amazed. They say, oh, she's a completely different child. I can't believe she's getting all this work done. She's turning everything, and we still have some things that we're working on, but she's so amazing. Like she went from pretty much like having the most difficult time in one of her classes to being an outstanding student with the highest grade in the class. Because her attention was shifted, right? Because my job as a mother is to help her refocus. We refocused away from what is not possible and started focusing on what is possible. Now that's one way of doing it. It's true in all of your life. It is true in your life, your life, your life. It's true in my life. When I decide what is possible for me, when I decide that anything is possible for me, then I can shift my attention away from the things that aren't working. In the reading with Christian D. Larson, thank you so much for the reading, Suzanne, because I really loved it. And I love that writing that says, you know, the human race may not know yet, may not be able to appreciate your greatness yet. But here's the deal. You appreciate your greatness. If you appreciate what you have come to do, your own greatness, your own ability, you can do and be and create anything that you choose in your life. I used to be one of the people that sort of bought the standard rules of engagement in human life. Standard rules of engagement. You were born, you learn to do things, you learn to walk, you learn to talk, you go to school. When you finish school, you go to college, or not, but you get a job. In my family, standard rule of engagement, when you are done with high school, you go to college, you get a career, and you get a good job. You save for your future, and you save for retirement, and you have periods of happiness along the way. You get married, you have children, and then you get old, and then you move on out to pasture and make way for others. That's basically the standard rule of human existence, right? Except we're changing that paradigm. We are all saying that we no longer agree with that we can be anything that we want to be. So yes, as I was listening to these lists of accomplishments, right, in my life, I'm recognizing, wait, this is like law is like my third career, because I've done other things, and I'm thinking I've lived all these many myriads of lives. When I think back to the fact that I moved here 17 years ago and walked through these doors 17 years ago, who I am now is completely different. So what does that mean for your daily life? How do you step into appreciation to increase the good in your life? It's a process, and you have to be willing to let go of the doubt in your mind. You have to be willing to let go of the little sarcastic voice that's saying, oh yeah, that okie doke stuff. You have to be willing to let go of thinking this is like frou-frou stuff. That's that airy-fairy stuff. You got to let it go. You got to be willing to say, you know what? I am here, and I'm here this one time. This one time as Amy. This one time as Tim. This one time as Dianne. I am here this one time, and I'm going to rock this one time that I'm here. Because I don't know what happens next. All I know is my right now. My right now is I am Dianne in this body, and I'm going to be the best one that I can be. And I'm going to tap into some things. I'm going to tap into the dreams. What were the dreams? What are the dreams for my life? When I'm really still and really quiet and not hanging out with my buddies that want to have a specific way that life is supposed to be like outlined for us. What is the thing that I so truly desire to be? What is the dream that I truly desire to live? Is it that I really want to teach? Is it that I really want to play music? Is it that I really want to sing or draw or buy a big house on the beach or be someone that sits on a cliff and paints? What do I really want to be? Do I want to go retire on an island somewhere? Do I want to go retire in Florida somewhere and get up every day and write wonderful books and tell wonderful stories? Do I want to teach people how to do creative, amazing things? What is it that I truly want? When I am quiet, every single person has one. At least one thing that they truly desire to do that they think, I can't do that. I can't do that. I need to make sure that I work and make sure that I can save enough money because I don't have enough money in my bank account. Did you feel that vibration shift? Because it's like you're over here being like really happy and filled with a joyous desire, and then there's this place in you that thinks there's not enough. I got to keep doing because I'm not far along enough yet on the track. So maybe later, maybe later I'll paint. Maybe later I'll draw. Maybe later I'll be a teacher. Maybe later I'll sing my song. But everybody has a song to sing. It's a different kind of song. But we all have a song. So the question is, how do I appreciate the things that I really want in my life? How do I appreciate my own prosperity? How do I appreciate my own thriving existence? What is it that I want? And you have glimpses of it in your life already. And all you have to do is start to pay more attention to it and less attention to the other stuff. You know, because there's some things there, and they weigh us down, and we know they're weighing us down, and they're depreciating our lives. And we know it because every time we even think about it, we get that heavy feeling. We feel that there's not enough air coming in our lungs. We feel weighed down and depressed. You kind of start to feel like there's, oh, I don't have enough, there's not going to be. And you start to engage in that spiraling downward energy. But if you turn around and look at your life and start to just pay attention to one good thing, oh my God, this man really loves me. Oh my gosh, I have really authentic friends that I have walked with along the path of my life. I'm so blessed. Wait, let's be even simpler than that. I have a roof over my head. I have somewhere to sleep. I have a warm bed that I'm laying in. I have food to eat. I have something in my life. Every one of us has something in our lives that we're very good at. And I'm going to share really quickly my gratitude journey with you. So I had this friend named Geraldine, right? Geraldine was from Chicago, and we lived together. We were housemates in the San Fernando Valley. And Geraldine said to me, I was whining. Oh my God, it was like 22, 23 years ago. I was just miserable. I was pissing and moaning about my job. I was like, this is just awful. I'm so tired, blah, blah, blah. And she gave me a notepad and a piece of paper and a pen, and she said, just write down 10 things you're grateful for. And I was like, 10 things? And she said, yeah, just 10 things that you're grateful for. And I was like, all right, sure, no problem. And I sat down, and I couldn't tap into gratitude. I couldn't find 10 things in my life that I was thankful for. I could not find 10 things. And so she went in her room, and we shared the house, right? So she could lock her door and lock me out. And so I was knocking on her door, and she wouldn't answer the door. And I called her, and I said, I can do 5, and she hung up on me. And I was like, hello? Did she hang up? How rude, right? And so I sat there, and I came up with 6 things. And it was like, you know, my parents, my family, food, my house, I have a job. And some of, 6 things. And I went and I knocked on her door, and I was like, I have 6. And she wouldn't answer the door, so I called her up, and she said, stop calling me till you have 10, and she hung up again. And I was like, what? I mean, this is like this big struggle to find 10 things in my life that I was grateful for. Because in my mind, I wasn't living up to the standard that had been set for me, that somehow I'd set in my head, and so therefore there was nothing to be grateful for, because here I was sharing a house with someone at my age. I wasn't married, didn't have children, he wasn't even on the horizon. I had nothing in my life as far as I was concerned. I'm working, I'm going to school, blah, 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 blah. There was nothing to be thankful for. Did you hear all those things? I had a roof over my head, I had a car, a job, you know what I mean? But in my mind, I was like, I hadn't met my standard, I hadn't hit my mark. So I'm still making the list, I'm making the list. And she said, and I called her and I said, I have 9. And I put it at your door. And I was sitting in my room, and the pad came flying under the door. Like she had just tossed it under there. And I was like, what? She said, 10, damn it. And walked away. And I made her my 10th thing, right? The friend that pushes me. I am so grateful. I want to tell you that over the years, right, I've done the 10 things, and I've had lots of clients that I have done work with that I have said, part of your growth work when you leave me will be to make a gratitude list and start your day with 10 things you're grateful for. I start my day with 10 things when I wake up. I literally lay in bed and think about, what I'm grateful for. I thank my body for what it does. I thank the ground for rising up to meet my feet. I give thanks for the bed I'm laying in. And I'm really into my whole gratitude journey. I cannot, if I were to start writing my gratitude list right now, I could probably sit and write till 4 o'clock and still have many things to write about. Because my life is so rich, it's so powerful, it's so amazing. And it is that amazing and that rich and that powerful because I stopped listening to the negative energy. Stopped listening to the tape that said, yeah, but. I stopped, and here's something else too. Anything after but, stop listening to it. If you think Anything after but really is a lie. And it is negating everything before the word but. So if I say, I love you, but what? I love you is a full, complete existence, the full way of being in the world. I love you is that's all that is. And the but, anything after that, negates the fact that I love you. And it's a whole idea that I'm like about to take it apart. I love you, but let me take apart how come all the things about you that are crazy and I can't love you. And you know what I mean? I could just love you. I could just love you. I could just be your friend. I could just be in prosperity and joy. I could just be in my life. I could just be grateful. I could just be thankful for all that I have. I could just be in love, gratitude, joy, prosperity. And these are my two favorite things, besides the word gratitude, is to be in a thriving life with a prosperous existence. And you do that by being dedicated, by being disciplined, by being determined. And you have to be determined to let go of the stuff that does not serve you. You have to be determined to not listen to the voice, the chatter, the one that wants to distract you when you sit down to meditate, the one that wants to tell you that, yeah, but. You have to be willing to let go of that. You have to be dedicated to the process of gratitude. Just like you're dedicated to whatever plant you have or whatever one thing in your life that you're dedicated to growing. Whether it's your portfolio, whether it's your plants, your dog, your cat, your parakeet, whatever, your beautiful lawn, whatever you're dedicated to, find that thing and pay attention to how much effort and energy you put into your dedication to making it, supporting it, having it unfold, having it grow and be magnificent. And be that dedicated to being thriving, prosperous, to being in joy, to being in love, to being in happiness, to being rich, fulfilled. Be that dedicated. Be determined to take the steps every day and to be in a gratitude journey, to live a life of gratitude. Be dedicated to you, to your joy, to your prosperity, to your wholeness. Be that person. And when you do that, when you stand in the agreement with yourself that this one life, this one right now that I have is going to be the most amazing life, the most amazing right now, the most fulfilling, the most joyous, the most wonderful life possible. When you make that agreement with yourself and you stand in that agreement, you cannot help but to have a life that appreciates, for which you are so thankful for and so appreciative that every day you're walking around in amazement for how incredible your life is. That it no longer becomes monotonous. It no longer becomes this thing that it's like, I get up every day, this is what I do. But it's like, whoa, I can't believe I'm living this life. That on a daily basis, you will be in joy, you will be in gratitude, you will live from that place on a daily basis. And sure, there are going to be moments when you're going to fall off the beam, but you know what? You just get right back up. And you really, and I'm not saying, to do a spiritual bypass. I'm not saying that if there are things that hurt, that if there are things that cause sadness, that if there are things that cause anxiety or fear, that you act like they don't exist. That is not at all what it means to be in appreciation or to be in gratitude. It does mean that you pay attention to it. You see that it's there, but you don't dwell there. You don't stay there. You allow the process of natural emotion to pass through. You pass through it and then you keep going. Because your life is a life that's meant to thrive and prosper. And every aspect of your beingness, every experience that you have, whether it's painful or sad or joyous or, exuberant, whatever it is, it's all what makes you up. So be in appreciation for all that you are, all that you have. Every aspect of your beingness, every moment is magnificent. Pay attention and be aligned in that truth. Be aligned in your own truth. Thank you. Peace and blessings.